Good morning, everybody. So, I've got some bad news that happened yesterday evening about the shooting in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And after that news, I'm going to bring up another story that you probably haven't heard of. That is a good story that ends with a good person carrying a gun. The first story ends with a bad person carrying a gun. Authorities in Tulsa, Oklahoma confirmed 5 dead, including the shooter. Police said the man used a rifle and a handgun during a shooting on the second floor of the Natalie Medical Building. He went into the outpatient center at St. Francis Hospital, according to the police department. Richard Mullenberg, who described the shooting as a catastrophic scene. The shooter reportedly committed suicide. He did one thing right. Okay. There's not a lot to say about it. That happened. It's too early to get the details. But just so you know, if one person would have been carrying, that could have been stopped before it even started. Just like this next story. Hit the like button and subscribe and ring the bell if you like these kind of stories and tips and tricks and all this other stuff that I try to bring to you on a daily basis. It would help me, and when you hit the like button, it shares it with the rest of the like-minded people, so I appreciate it. Now, this woman confronted a big man, 37-year-old Dennis Butler. He had a rifle, an AR-15, and she had a handgun. This is how it went down, and I love this kind of stuff because she's a hero, a shero. All right. Police say a woman's actions may have prevented a mass casualty event in Charleston, West Virginia. An altercation about a man speeding through a neighborhood. Charleston police said it all started when 37-year-old Dennis Butler was speeding up and down a parking lot inside the Vista View Apartments. I've been on both sides of this. I've sped through a neighborhood and had people call me down, and I had to man up and say, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and I didn't. And I've also been in a neighborhood where people are doing 70 and 80 miles an hour down a road that's 25 miles an hour, and it makes you mad. I'm sure they probably scolded him pretty good. Now, so be it. Take your lashes and straighten up. It's what I did. It's what you should do. So everybody should man up and do the right thing. Well, he didn't because he's a worm. So, witnesses said Butler seemed agitated and left, but returned to the complex shortly after, armed with an AR-15 style rifle, and started shooting at the crowd. Now, the police said the woman pulled out her pistol, shooting and killing the man. Pow! Done. Problem solved. The only thing that stops this from happening is a good person with a weapon. That is it. Now, I believe everybody should be walking around. I'm talking Old West. Everybody should be packing outside the belt, on the hip, everywhere you go. This stuff would not go on anymore. And you're going to hear more and more. There's been like 8 or 9 of these shootings happening back to back. And I'm telling you, they are fixing to come after our Second Amendment more than ever. It gets worse every time. The First Amendment is all but gone. If you've ever made content on the YT, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've been unsubscribed, look down, subscribe. If you're not getting the notifications, unsubscribe, subscribe again, and hit the bell. Maybe that'll straighten it out. I hear it all the time. It's nothing new. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do about it. She engaged the threat. She went towards the threat. This is a big dude with an AR-15. That'd be hard to do for anybody. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When all guns are bad, get rid of all of them. Well, this guy wasn't supposed to have a gun. He was a convicted felon. Police said Butler had an extensive criminal history. In 2016, he was accused of shooting and pistol whipping a 19-year-old woman. But those charges were dismissed because no witnesses testified at the pretrial hearing. Go figure. Court records show Butler had been convicted of 2 felonies in the past, so he should have not had a gun. Well, what happened? Why did he have a gun if he wasn't supposed to? Because he's a criminal. They do things that are unlawful. That's the problem with gun control. That's why it will never work. The criminals will always have guns, and only the good people will give them up. It's very, very important. Stop at nothing to save the Second Amendment. Speaking about the woman hasn't said she's just a member of the community who is carrying her firearm lawfully instead of running from the threat she engaged in, saving several lives. That is awesome, and I ought to give everybody hope. And if you don't have a gun, get one. Get whatever you need to have it. Carry it on you as much as possible. I know it's a pain. It's heavy. It's always in the way when I'm working and doing stuff. But we live in the Thunderdome. We need to be packing. Have an awesome, awesome day. Later. Almost forgot. Thank you, Trey, for sending me this information. You're an awesome dude. And anytime anybody sends me information like this, I'm very appreciative. Later.